Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good whatever time of day it may be for you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Layback Gamer, and I got really curious to see if we had any more card drops for the FrostSpark collection. And I poked a little bit around, and indeed we do have a couple of new cards. And by new couple, I mean we got four new cards. Last episode I covered the Piercing Twilight. Now this is on the legendsdex.com. I don't know. I don't visit the site often. As a matter of fact, this is the only time. And I think looking up a couple of past arena, or not arena earned cards, but monthly reward cards. So aside from that, that's the only time I've ever been into this site. But here we have a few new ones. So I don't know what order they were released in. So with that, I'm just going to start from the left and go all the way to the right. Zoom in a little bit. First off, we have the Green Pack Ambusher, 2-mana Wood Elf, 4/1 Prophecy Guard at the end of your turn. If you're at the end of your opponent's turn, if they have a full lane and Green Pack Ambusher is in your hand, summon her to that lane. Now, that's an interesting card. It reminds me a lot of the Orc, the Orc version of this card. I forget the exact stats, except it didn't have guard and it didn't have this effect. So a bit of a power creep on that one. It is an epic, so I suppose if it's going to be a bit of a power creep, it's okay for that. I don't know. But immediately this tells me that this card's going to be used in addition to another edition, Gravestone something. Okay, yes, thank you, Java. Well, thank you. Let's see here. I'm just gonna quickly look it up on my tablet. Is it Gravestone something? Oh no. No, come on. Come on. I forget they're good, but essentially this card's going to be used in tangent with that. Almost found it. I found it. Ah, come on. What's the name of this card? I think it's Greystone Ravager. I think that's the name of the card. I might be talking complete just nonsense here, but oh come on. Why is it always difficult to look up these? Okay, let's see here. Greystone Ravager. Yeah, that is the name. Okay. All right, I had it right. Anyway, so this in a great. The way I see this card being played, it's either going to be played as a bit of another control feature that that strength can have in order to try to calm down on the amount of cards or creatures on one side of the board, which could be very useful against Crusader, or which is what this is most likely going to be. It's likely going to just be played alongside Gravestone Ravager. They both have Prophecy, they both have 4 attack, they both cost 2. Yeah, they both only have 1 health, but honestly, to get the 4 damage out of it, that's really good. So this is definitely going to be played in an aggressive decks alongside that card, and it has the added benefit of, say your opponent is also playing an aggressive deck and they filled up their lane a little bit too much. Well, if you have a couple of these in your hand, you summon 2 of them, and now you just got 8 free damage. At least I believe that's how it, it should work, because it is being summoned on your opponent's turn, and therefore the 1 turn wait that it has to take will be when it waits for your opponent to while the rest of your opponent's turn to play out. But that's what I think about this. I see what they were trying, sort of what they may have been trying to do, like make something that's a little more controlling. But if you're going to do that, why not give it more health instead of attack? I don't know. Moving on to shadow marking, something I thought we may have gotten in Skyrim, not in the Heroes of Skyrim, and not here, because that's where shadow markings were more. Well, I think they were also in Oblivion. I don't know if they were in Morrowind, but I know that in Skyrim they were a lot more obvious and easy to see. And you had a book that would tell you all about the shadow marks, written by Delvin Mallory. Anyways, shadow marking, 3 mana action for agility. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose 1 to put into your hand, in your opponent's hand, and draw the other 2. Excuse me. Now this is an interesting card. It's just interesting in the fact that you can essentially set up your deck to sort of sabotage, be a slightly self-sabotage, but also if you play shadow marking at the right time and you say you end up getting a bad card, you can give that right to your opponent, or a card that they can't use. I know in the past Justin Larson has made use of this with Barter and the Iron Atronach. Shame he had to do that. Why must he do that to my favorite card in this game? Well, at least one of the ones that I always love playing. Anyways, he would use that and barter it away, and combined with a Territorial Viper, he would immediately pick it off in the next turn. Essentially wasting his opponent's turn, essentially his opponent wasting his turn to play such a big creature, and then they ended up at a severe disadvantage, because essentially that's the equivalent of Justin having a 4 mana card that essentially skipped your opponent's turn. So that was the first thing that I thought when I saw this. Another thing you can use to give cards such as, I'm not. What would I give my opponent? There's quite a few cards in the game that I would consider giving away. Something you might not be having to use, like Daring Heist. That would be another good one. You have it in a deck where you could trigger it very easily. Excuse me. But giving it to your opponent and controlling one side of the board, that way they have a dead card in their hand essentially, and they essentially just taunt, like, come on, if all you have to do is just attack in 2 lanes, but no, I'm not gonna let you do it. But all you have to do is just attack from both lanes, and you can draw it. Use this card, and yeah, well, essentially you could use that for this. Is that Alduin? That's another one. You could throw an Alduin in your opponent's hand. Granted, it's a bad idea if you know they're playing dragons, but Alduin's 20 costs, so unless they are a ramp dragon, or for some reason they're running Lich's Ascension, which is another card you can throw in that. I'm listing a lot of cards that you would see in scout decks, come to think of it. Maybe this is more of a scout card. You would just toss you just toss a really bad card in your opponent's hand, and you could play around it. So I think this is going to see some play. Definitely going to be a fun card, something I'm going to try out. And, well, I can't wait for this collection to come out. Next we have Destruction Tutor, which looks like they used, there's for quest givers, one of the quest givers is Felina, and I believe she uses this art, and I guess they're now putting it on a card. 5 mana High Elf, 3/5. Your actions that deal damage cost 2 less. We're definitely gonna see. This might bring out a more action center style of aggressive mage, combining cards such as Hex Mage and well, what's another good card? Uh, Ther Therna, Therana. I am I'm gonna quickly look this up. Let's see if I can spell this correctly. Yeah, Therana. I did say it right. This looks like another card that you could throw in that deck. Just have a couple of lightning bolts. I could really see Assassin making good use, and I might try to make an Assassin deck with Therana in it. Basically, you would have three copies of this, three copies of Hex Mage, three copies of your Shulks, or anything that you can use to draw zero cost cards. Just draw a lot of cards with. Might even put in the Headmaster Stadium. Nah, who's gonna put that card in? It's the one card that High Elf 6 cost 5/3, I believe, and both you and your opponent draw 2 cards. Absolute garbage. But I might try to see if I can make this work. It would definitely be interesting, and it would convince me that crafting Tirana would be an interesting choice. Combined it with Queen Bear's Eye first. Okay, I got a deck list going. I got a bit of a deck list going. We'll see how well it works. I definitely, I think I could make this work. Oh, and you can combine it with shadow marking because you'll have plenty of cards to give to your opponent. You give him, say, oh, I don't know. You could give him really weak a couple of weak cards, such as maybe some fire bolts, or if you manage to. I wonder what happens if you manage to get one of the trinkets from the or stolen trinket from the Thieves Guild footpad, Shadowfoot, and then play or targets. I could see targets too. You just throw some. You manage to get some targets, and I could actually see these two working all right together. You have stuff in a deck type. Anyways, gonna move on. Lastly, and I was very happy when I saw this 6 mana Apex Wolf. It's a wolf, which, yay, we're finally getting more wolves. I've been really wanting an excuse to use wolves, and now I might have one. 6 mana willpower 4/4, breakthrough, drain, last gas. Draw the top card of your deck and give it drain and the top creature of your deck and give it drain and breakthrough. Now, combine. Here, I could see a Monk's Brigand-esque deck working out a little bit better because of this card, because now you're given the top card of your deck, Breakthrough and Drain, which obviously really good stats together. That probably some of the best combination, aside from, well, not really Lethal and Breakthrough, but Breakthrough and Drain, arguably the best if you could pick any two keyword combinations, the best ones you can put together, aside from Lethal and Ward. But anyways, no, not Alpha Wolf. Is it Snow Wolf? No. I was just gonna mention a couple synergies that it synergizes with. Not really, no, not. Oh, come on! Every time I try to find something that I want. Anyways, it's the Wolf card, not Alpha Wolf, but the other one that had the other 4 mana Wolf that we got as a monthly reward, where it 4 mana 4/4, and your other wolves have +1/+1, and whenever you pillage, it summons a 1/1 Wolf card. But yes, I could see this really working out. Perhaps bringing wolves back into the have a Wolf Spriggan type deck a little more in, because now you'll be able to give creature your top card of your deck with breakthrough and drain, and even if, say, you just target a chart, like I think best case scenario, you charge the keywords and put it into Cliff Racer, and that way you have basically 4 mana or not, 5 mana 4/4 that can attack right away. It'll give you 4 health, and if it happens to kill a creature that had less health in it, you just deal the difference to your opponent. Yeah, I can't find that card online. And it's a wolf, so it benefits other wolf cards in the game. It like I said, from the 4 mana, I can't remember the wolf's name, but it gives +1/+1. Gets to benefit from Alpha Wolf if you ever decide to play that crap of a card. Honestly, I think that card needs to be buffed. Just give it 1 extra health, please. It might actually be decent enough to run. Wolf Cage obviously takes incredible benefit from this. Not none of the other wolf cards, but then you look into Spriggans and some of the and this is another card that you get from Spriggan. They're from I don't know. It's really bad that I don't remember any of the names of any of these cards. No, I got nothing. But this 3 mana 4/2 that summons that puts a random animal in your hand, and you could possibly get this, and even in a deck that doesn't have wolf synergy in it, honestly the last gasp alone is really good. Could you imagine if I accidentally say gave this to Odahviing? That would be that would be something. You get breakthrough and drain to Odahviing. Basically, you you touch anything on your opponent's side of the board, you get up to 32 health back, and you can bust. Oh, the combinations that you can play with this are crazy. So this card is definitely a great standalone card, and you could slot this in any other deck. I kind of want to just build a wolf and Spriggan deck a little more to try to integrate this, with the synergy. But you don't have to with that, really. So, all around, really great card. We already reviewed this. So far, all of these have very high potential, which is actually shocking. I mean, in the previous collection, if we go ahead and scroll up here, Forgotten Hero. Let's see. All of these cards did, yes, definitely see some play, but in the end, really, Sly Marsh, Bleak Coast Troll, and Tullius's Conscription and Alfred's Uprising were really the only four that got that really got played quite a bit more than the other counterparts than the rest of them, with Sly Marsh Blade and Bleak Coast Troll getting played quite a bit, a lot more. I always run into this whenever I play Scout or Assassin's decks. This one, anytime I play up against a Sorcerer, I'm bound to see this. I only really see Nermina Shrine in decks that really want to draw their cards quickly, such as Doomcrag Vampire or Doomcrag Warrior. I don't counter those guys too much. Voice of Balance, it's a gotcha card if it gets played. And the singleton cards, not really. I don't see them anymore. I mean, we saw that they were game changer for a little bit of time, but afterwards, almost like they fell off the face of the earth. Cast into Time, yeah, it sees some play, only mainly in Tribunal though. Doppelganger, when have I last seen a Doppelganger? I know they used to be prevalent in the Nyx Ox deck before that got nerfed. And nothing else here really to talk about. And we can go as far back as the Madhouse collection, really, if we're talking about cards, where you don't see any of these just make staples in any decks. It make a deck really tie together a deck. I mean, Gardener of Swords is great for item decks, but I haven't seen one of those in a while. Close Call, it's 0 cost, and you only really see that in Swindler Market decks, or just, well, really off of Smuggler's Hall, which you only see in Swindler's Market decks. Merchant's Camel, I would say, is one of the only ones here that would actually be played in multiple decks because, hey, it's another draw mechanic and you can discard a couple cards from your deck in the process too. Nobody plays this. Strike that. Maybe one person plays this. Nobody plays this, and I'm not even going to strike that. Nobody plays this either. So, in terms of past collections, there have been some cards in there that have had a lot of potential and actually have seen this through. But so far, what I've seen from the FrostSpark, I would say all of these have potential to not only like create really deck defining to be deck defining, but also just all around really good standalone cards. I mean, Piercing Twilight and Apex Wolf, two great examples of this. You don't even have to be running. You don't have to really be running any sort of control deck. You could be playing aggro with this, and just make sure that your opponent can't blizzard you ice storm you anymore. Or in Apex Wolf, as the case that I mentioned, you happen to get the lucky proc that you trigger it, and it happens to go right to Odahving. You play Odahving, and suddenly in a situation that seems so dire, now you're likely sitting at anywhere from 20 to 32 health. And you possibly dealt a tiny bit of damage to your opponent, all because you happen to have got a really good proc from Apex Wolf. This, I can really see it in decks that rely a lot on actions, specifically the instance that I mentioned with playing an Assassin's deck that runs Thirana. You could run Shadow Mark in there as well. All of that. I mean, all of these have a lot of potential here, which actually is surprising. I mean, when I first saw this, when I first saw the Forgotten Heroes, because I had just came back to the game when Heroes of Skyrim had came, and I had never gotten a chance to actually see the Madhouse collection. But when I came in, I said, "Yep, these three are going to be deck defining." Well, to myself, I later did a slight review on them. This probably not going to see that much play. It's another removal, so it's going to see that play. I doubted this one was going to see play, and I was wrong. This seemed stupid at the time, but well, I was proven severely wrong. I was questioning what could you do with this, and turns out not much. And then the other four here are kind of a mix between I could see this and not really. So that I know I'm kind of ranting on, and I tend to rant on whenever I do reviews, but I think for the first time, I don't even know since when, all of these cards I say would be have the potential to be stapled in across several different decks. And by the looks of it, we're going to be getting. I didn't actually read if this is the case, so if they already stated it, then my bad. But it looks like we're going to be getting two of each, a rare and an epic. And then maybe we might be seeing a legend for the neutral, which I wouldn't mind if we saw a legend for neutral. I believe there are 11 cards coming to this, so it would make sense if only one of them was neutral, and we had two in every other attribute, and in each of the attributes they had a rare and an epic, and then neutral had a legend. Can't wait to see what the neutral card would be. I actually can't wait to see what all of them are. I'm excited for this, if you can't tell. So before I go on any further, I think I'm just going to cut the episode short here. I know there wasn't any any gameplay in this episode. That will change for the next episode that we go for. It's just I didn't have that much time to do it today, as I had to work. I had some things I had to do today. Had work that I had to go to. So today was just not all around not that great of a day to make a super long video. But that's going to be coming next. That'll be coming on, I believe, Monday, our next big Elder Scrolls Legends. And it is going to be another solo arena run. I'm just trying to burn some time until we get to November, especially until we get to the point where this collection is out. But anyways, thank you everybody for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, hit that subscribe button if you really enjoyed. Don't forget to share this video or any of the videos to anybody who you think will enjoy my content. Next time, we'll be doing another arena run, and I will be, that the same day, I will be posting any other cards that we happen to see get released from this collection. But until then, take it easy, ladies and gentlemen.